What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Cousin Cecil Show. I'm your host, Mike Fowler, a.k.a. Cousin Cecil. How you doing this week? You have a good week. Hopefully you had well. Hopefully everything went good. Hopefully nothing took you down. More, like I said, try and do some affirmations before the top of the show. There's going to be a pretty big, thick chunk week of conversations. Some more reviews. Some in the movies, some in the comics, and of course get you your gaming news, and we'll get you out of here. But and then honestly, because of that, we'll start off the show with what I've been playing, and honestly, haven't played that much besides Fortnite, and basically that's it. I have the beta for Rust, the console edition, and I haven't turned it on yet, and I'll maybe do it this week, and I'll get back with you guys to see what you guys think about it or my thoughts. But yeah, I've been more busy setting up interviews with comic book authors, and and then I guess for the shout out, the Cousin Cecil Cross Cadillac on Mars episode is out on Cadillac's RSS feed. So go over there, if you're not Chalfie listening, go over there and give it a listen, where we interview the King of the Hook from Farmington Hills, Michigan, Cluner. He hit the internet. He's been on the internet for a while, but obviously he hit our radar with the King of Farmington last year, and we got to sit down and talk to him, and it was really fun. And of course, it will be on the Cousin Cecil's feed, maybe in a week, maybe 2 weeks. I don't know. I'm going to let that one breathe because of I'm more happy that Chalfie was there, because he controlled the conversation. He's a lot more better at running the convo into the music field. So I'm thankful I was there, and I'm happy to set it up, and yeah, it was really fun. But again, go on the Cadillac Samar's feed and go listen to that and all the other episodes he has. But anyway, and then let's get into this week's gaming news. That long story short, we'll first off the top with Jeffrey Kaplan from Blizzard has retired from Blizzard after like 20-ish years with them. He was also the director of Overwatch. And just more for a long story short, he's just another pillar of the OG Blizzard that has left the company since Activision buying them. I don't want to overthink it. Of course, I'm just stating something that's like a point to show. It could be anything. I've heard that, of course, because it's been so long, older people of the Blizzard company weren't happy with like how Activision runs Blizzard. But that's, of course, another discussion. But we'll just more leave for Jeffrey's intent. He just quit. He's been 20 years with the same company. It's time to branch off. And I was just saying, hey, good luck to you and all your next endeavors. We're here waiting for you to see if you make who knows, maybe you might do another, just make another banger like Overwatch did. You made something out of nothing with that, because obviously I know Overwatch was supposed to be a different game. But yeah, hey, best of luck. Next, last week we obviously had the big announcement of the PlayStation and Vita, PlayStation 3 and the Vita stores were going to close, but then this week Jim Ryan says, oopsie, nope, take back, reverse Uno. So yeah, they're not going to shut down the stores. So hey, that's cool. Of course, it goes in, I'm happy. That's cool. It wasn't going to affect me either way, because I don't have a Vita at the moment, and I haven't played a PS3 in years. And then on to a more interesting for Sony is Sony accidentally published an announcement for PlayStation Plus Video Pass on its Polish website. The long story short, they are testing the field out in Poland so that PlayStation Plus members can get access to over 20 movies and TV shows from Sony Pictures and more content every 3 months. There's no word if this will go past that market, but yeah, that's basically for that news about the past. That'd be cool. I mean, it is what it is. It ain't gonna hurt being able to have access to some TVs and movie shows since there is no video store at the moment for the PS5. So maybe that might be also the little hurdle for if they're testing it in just Poland, because obviously I'm assuming Poland's more of a either transition to the PS5 or they're just dealing with PS4s to test the playing field, how that works. More news whenever it gets more out there, because also I think they're running it, but also I'm not sure if it's officially being practiced there. And then also some quick news before we get into more. There's also that too. A lot more PlayStation news. First of all, Jim Ryan had an interview with that. Sorry, the store shit is not going to change. Is that they are he basically said that this generation of PlayStation, PS5, will have more exclusives than any other generation to date. And with that rumor that also came out, with that statement also came out that PlayStation is working with a Firewalk Studios, announced a published partnership for a new original multiplayer IP. Apparently, Firewalk Studios are a bunch of ex-Bungie employees in their new studio, so we're going to have that first-person shooter caliber of a Bungie idea for coming to PlayStation, and that is pretty neat. And there's more to come. Of course, we're on the basically almost the eve of Housemarque's Returnal, and they have previews out, and they said I've heard good things about it. Haven't heard anything really bad. They said they really enjoy even the procedural levels. I've heard it has that Housemarque hardness at the end. So I'm looking forward to that. I might pick it up maybe a couple weeks out since release. Maybe see how it goes on sale. Maybe Father's Day. Who knows? And then also just more to say, another quick thing is that I saw this week was Microsoft has now officially got all the free-to-play games, Fortnite, Apex Legend, off the gold umbrella that you need to have to play them. So you can play it on your Xbox without a membership of either Gold or I'm assuming Game Pass Ultimate. So that's good to have since that should have been done a while ago. Kudos to them. And then also I saw is that they made a partnership with some kind of company that does like streaming to more obviously push the cloud-based gaming of their Game Pass services. But this one, what makes it cool is it works on iOS Safari browsers. So this is like a loophole to the whole App Store fiasco that is going on with like Epic Games with Fortnite, and Microsoft's Game Pass basically has like there's no way this is coming on until you do this, this, and this. There's a loophole so that they can just have it run without doing like the over-the-top stuff. Like Apple wants every game to be reviewed or something crazy, like way off like what needs to be done. So hey, if you're an Xbox guy and you're into the cloud-based gaming, good news. They are doing what they're saying. They're working it on. So yeah. But that was basically it for gaming news-wise that I care about. More I wanted to say is where is it? There it is. Mad Cave Studios Mad Cave Studios is a comic book publisher. And this Wednesday, you'll hear I had an interview with the really nice, he's a very nice guy, David Hazan, the author of the wonderful book that is hitting the comic world at the moment a little bit by storm in the indie run, Nottingham. Nottingham is hitting the third printing of issue 1. And the reason I bring that up is because this is the first third printing of any series for Mad Cave Studios. So it's a benchmark, a thing to, sounds dumb, that's why I'm also ordering an issue, is if this is the first third printing, somewhere down the road, you're like, oh, this is the book that started the whole craze for Mad Cave. And look, there's the third printing of it. That's why I'm picking it up. But Mad Cave Studios has partnered with Echo Lake Entertainment and has signed the independent comic book company, graphic novel publisher, under a deal to manage their catalog of IP for film and TV adaptations, including the library of under Mad Cave is like inclusive young adult imprints, Maverick. The Echo Lake Entertainment, founded by Doug Makanoff in '98, is a management production and finance company based out of Beverly Hills. The company has produced and financed over 40 films, earning 8 Academy Award nominations. And and then what is it? The thing I want to say, Echo Lake also, so that we have a example of one of their shows. The TV show that's on Hulu called The Great, starring Ellie Fanning and Nicholas Hoult. That was just greenlit a second season and is currently in production. And then apparently they also did All the Bright Places on Netflix. But yeah, and I just more wanted to say congratulations to Mad Cave for being able to catch a company and now working on to making some of their IPs into TV and movie, which obviously helps the brand and all that stuff. So that's good to hear. And it also teases, obviously, the Cousin Cecil Show's interview, because when they did the announcement for this partnership, they even talked about Nottingham. And then just judging by the 2 books that I read, and I'm waiting for issue 3, Nottingham probably will be definitely a prize target of like the first adaptation coming off this deal, because it's really good. It's a really great detective story. But yeah, all right. And then basically the next little bit is going to be not 1, not 2, but 3 reviews. And 2 of them are the most current movies that just came out. And one of them is going to be I was fortunate to review a comic that comes out actually Wednesday. So obviously that might become a hot pick because of what I'm going to talk about. But first, let's get with the bad. And I wanted to review Warner Brothers' new adaptation of Mortal Kombat. Of course, the new movie, and of course it's HBO. It went on HBO Max on day and date, so that's where I watched it on. And it is, and I'm being honest, I do not like it at all, and it was kind of terrible. I put it under Annihilation, and that's me saying it over the top because I want them to understand how much they had a chance and they fumbled it. So this version is directed by Simon McQuaid, and I don't know why. I don't know who gave him the story, so I'm not going to bash it on him. Because the whole idea, the whole story of this one is just wrong. There's not even a Mortal Kombat tournament. They make it act like, and then they just throw you into this thing, and I understand now why before the show came out, they showed you the first 7 minutes to get your hype up, because the trailer, the little previews, they lied. They basically lied. It is terrible. I put it as a 4 out of 10. And we're going to get into more conversation because I don't understand some of these movie reviewer like websites, but I digress. So some of the bad. No tournament. This is debatable, but I'm just saying it. There's not even Johnny Cage. They decided to make a weird family topic of the story with a new character that's not in any Mortal Kombat game called Cole Young, who has a tie with a actual character from the game, but it's not needed. It is just the idea to have a human avatar for the audience to go down this road. But they don't even explain what the Mortal Kombat shit is. They just do these weird, crazy, over-the-top, like, I don't even know how to describe it. But the idea, so I'll even say this. The beginning of the movie is, of course, the Scorpion and Sub-Zero that you saw in the trailers. And, like, you see, obviously, Scorpion's backstory, which is normal. And then, right after that, it goes into the modern times. And it just throws you into this idea that there are people with markings of like the Mortal Kombat logo saying you are chosen for this fight, which they never have a tournament. They don't even explain that. Like I know the Mortal Kombat story game lore is tough to understand, but the idea of they could have simply put somewhere in there, hey, there are multiple realms in this universe. There's the Earth realm, Outer realm, Nether realm, and there's another one that they basically lost, and that's why Outworld took them. But the idea of, hey, there's multiple realms, and these realms fight, and then after every 10 Mortal Kombats, the winner gets to invade the other planet and take control of it. They could have had a little backstory showing that Outworld has these ones, so you can also put, like, give it a backstory better than what the movie does, which is none. And then they can still use your marking idea because Earthrealm has, of course, Sonya Blade, Jax, Liu Kang, Kung Lao, Johnny. I said Jax, and then Johnny Cage is usually part of this, but he's not in this movie. But there's also a band of misfits of the Black Dragon Clan, which are Kano, Cabal, and all that shit. You could have had a story that Shang Tsung just invaded Earth, which they do, and they just make it sound like there's no rules or nothing to it. They can invade whenever they want, which is wrong. It's so jumbled, and it gets you more mad because it happens so quick for an hour and 50-minute runtime with no tournament. You're looking at the clock once they get all together. So they're going to wrap this baby up in 40 minutes. And it was terrible. It's too rushed in a sense that they put so much story and bullshit at the beginning that it could be self-explanatory. Then we could have had a real tournament show with the rest of the time. It was poorly done. And then the worst part is, so I can explain it to the people, it's not the actors. It's not the actors. It's not their fault. They only get what they're given. And then I'll only say that it's some of the director's fault because obviously he's the director, but it's whoever wrote the story. The story is terrible. And I just want to say 4 out of 5, or not 4 out of 5, 4 out of 10. And I would pass it. I wouldn't say rent it. I would just pass it. You don't need to watch it. If you're going to watch any of them, I suggest you should watch the cartoon Mortal Kombat Scorpion's Revenge. That is only an hour and 10 minutes and gives you a better first movie than this hunk of garbage. They did this weird way of teasing you with the trailers, which made it look good. It does, because the fatalities look all right, but they're not even worth the idea of, I'm not there for the violence. I want a story with the violence. And I don't understand how, I'll say it right here, I don't understand how GameSpot gave it a 9 out of 10. It is crazy. They gave, this is where it's fucked up. They gave Godzilla vs. Kong a 5 for mediocre. And one of their things like, oh, the scripting is done with the humans. Okay. The idea of the backstory of King Godzilla is a big fucking lizard breaking down the town, and they obviously nothing really cared. And they gave that one the real reviewers' critiques, and they gave Mortal Kombat a fucking 9. And they go like that. Humans go for that one, which is fine. I'm like, are you kidding me? I don't understand where these weird mislevel things are. Like we have also now the Falcon and Winter Soldier finale came out, and people give it a 6. It was pretty well done. The review, I would recommend anybody to watch that first season of Falcon and Winter Soldier. It does a very good, and I'm not even saying tighten it, but a very good story that has a beginning, ending of for 6 episodes. They take that and they give you the teasers to go into the next set of movies. So I think they did well done. But I would say do not watch Mortal Kombat on your HBO Max. Now, I do want to say, I want to talk about my next review, which I just left the theaters, I guess 2 hours ago. I went and saw Demon Slayer's Mugen Train movie. Demon Slayer is, of course, the anime that's been hitting the world by storm. And I am going to give Mugen Train a 10 out of 10. And I will say this, the reason I'm giving it a 10 out of 10, I would not go watch it if you've never watched Demon Slayer. This is one of the first ever anime movies that is entangled to the actual the TV series or manga, but like the idea of like there's 26 episodes in season 1, and the ending of episode 26 is literally the beginning of the movie. And this ain't spoilers, but the idea of episode 26 is at the end, Tajiro and his band of goons, they jump on the train that's in the movie. And I'm giving it a 10. I think also it is beautiful. It is gorgeous. One of the most gorgeous animations I've watched in a very, very long time. It is so well done. And when I watched it, this is the highest grossing movie in Japan ever. It took 73 days for them to do that, but it's the highest grossing one ever. And I do not see where I use another IGN's review as like a touch base of seeing like what would people have problems with. This one has, which then you have to watch the season. It's very heavy on the season, and not even like the whole season. If you want to watch the last arc of the season, which is basically Tajiro fighting one demon, then gets his sister gets a trial about being a demon. But you could also, in my opinion, if you come with an open mind, you could go into this movie and be okay as a newcomer, because it kind of still gives you all the key points of the season. It gives you why Tajiro's on this mission. It kind of gives you the feel. The only one that gets the least amount of feeling of like why, like what's her story is obviously his sister, the demon, but obviously it's kind of like it's understanded in the idea. And then we get a more in-depth character dive of one of the Hazuros, which is, I'm going to just say Goku, because it's like Air Goku, like ER Goku or something. I don't want to say it, like, look it up. But he is from the court trial, and you saw in episode 26 that he's on the train, so it's not like some weird surprise, like, oh, you're here. But he is like one of the best of the best. He's the one who can wield the fire power, or the fire breathing of the sword play of this, series. And at first, we watched it dubbed just so that I could watch the animation and also get my feelings into the story without having to just read plus enjoy the film. It's excellent. It does a very great mixture of the hand-drawn art and then the 3D computer art that they use for, like, when they're on top of the train, or there's part when, like, the snow. It's very excellent done. I don't see where IGN said, oh, this movie lives and dies if you do not like the Goku, I'm going to say the teacher, because there's no way you can go in there and say, I don't like this teacher for how much he's in the story. Like, you have to just be in there looking for trouble if you're just going to say, I don't like him. Because it's been so well done in there to give you a starting, beginning, or middle, and end of his arc. Which, obviously, I like that Goku Now guy. And then he also gives Tajiro his, like, it does excellent. It is very good. I don't want to spoil it. That's why I'm trying to keep it. But it's a 10 out of 10. Yeah, I will go down as low as 9 out of 10 for a newcomer. If you do not know anything about Demon Slayer, I suggest do not watch it yet. At least go watch the season, because this is why I want to give it extra points. I would give it 11, but the idea, I want to give it a 10 out of 10 because I love that this movie affects the season. This will affect season 2. This will affect, the characters down the road because of how they intertwine it to the season. And I love that. Naruto has 12 different movies, and none of them touch the series of problems. We're at My Hero Academia, who is another excellent show, has 2 movies on their verge of 3 movies with John Cena as a dub actor, apparently. None of them touch the series for a connection in the idea. So, I want to give bigger praise to Demon Slayer because of that. Because I love the idea of season 1 goes through 6 volumes of the manga. And then we get a really good movie that clears up one arc of the manga. So we don't, it is done. It gives you the path for season 2 for at least half. Because, sometimes those books, sometimes the seasons have mid-season conflicts. So this is going to give us the direction where he's going for season 2 at the beginning. And it is excellent. And, but yeah, highly recommend it. I would say if you feel safe, I'd go to the theater, which hopefully you hear it. You have to go within this week. If not, please pick it up when it comes out on video on demand. And if you're a Demon Slayer fan, you'll thank me later, and it is excellent. All right. Now we'll get to the last one, which was more of a surprise for me to get it for. I got it 2 days ago, this comic. There is a comic coming out April 28th called Helm Greycastle. And it is by Top Cow Comics and a Image Comics little collab. Helm Greycastle is also created by the story author and colorist Henry Barharas and Brian Valenza, and penciler Ramat Handoko, and then the letter artist is Gabriella Downey. And then I want to just more say this is I think I like this book. I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. Things I like is, of course, I think the message that Henry is promoting in, like, I've seen his TikToks. He has some TikToks and stuff about it, is that it is a sword and sorcery book. So like it's a, you know, a book that's more about like the Dungeons and Dragons feeling and stuff. Like Helm Greycastle is like the barbarian of the group, and he has a whole little guild with him. Like you know, there's a, like, you know, I don't want to spoil it, but of course, like, there's, you know, an orc barbarian as well, elvish bard, a, like, you know, a dwarf, and all that fun jazz. And what makes it cool is this world that they live in is also connects to a more Central American, and gives them like a more of a using like Aztec lore for some of the other spots in the world, or like, you know, the conflict that's going on in the first issue. There's going to be only 4 issues, so it's like a mini series, and I like it a lot. I think it's really neat. Obviously, the having the representation of like Latinx heritage into a book is awesome for like this sword and sorcery genre. And it's pretty good. I do have to, that's why some negatives is like the story kind of just jumps into a story without the surprise explanation of what's going, like how the world is set up. Because without really spoiling it, the first couple pages are like a very more you know, typical, like you feel like you're like a castle with skeletons protecting the scroll and stuff, and then they return, and then it goes into the real story, which is basically Helm Greycastle has to help find the last dragon prince. But then it just seems like, and then oh, by the way, we're right next to the more Central American pyramids and like and all that stuff. That's what threw me off about it. But once you get past that little hurdle, the message they're doing is really well done, and I enjoyed it. And I also enjoy what seems like going to be the twists and turns of like the interlingings of like the whole Aztec empire that they're talking about in this. I want to just, you know, congratulate Henry. And thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to review it on my show. And another thing that gave it another boost is that each issue, so there's 4 issues, like I said, will come with also at the back end of it a quest for your actual in-person, or, you know, Zoom, probably with this pandemic, of actual, you know, tabletop RPG guild you have at home. So it comes with a 5th edition ready style, like, you know, has already the layout of how 5th edition does D&D now set up, and it's the game that the story or the quest comes from is called Sacred Armor. And I just more wanted to say, because I thought that was a very neat thing. I was reading in the dictionary. I thought this was like, I thought it was like a whole like little, that whole description of like the world I was looking for. But no, it's actually part of a game of a quest line for your guild. And I think that's really cool. It comes with a big storyline and, like, you know, creatures to put into for the dungeon master or game master to run. So I think that's really cool to have for a additional thing to have for any physical edition, of course digital. But yes, 7.5 out of 10. I want to thank Henry, and of course, you know, just the opportunity, man. It's really cool that's why I've been liking this comic book shtick. These people have been very nice, you know, granted it's just some podunk person like me jumping into DMs that they're open and asking them to come on the show or whatever. It's been really cool to feel like I'm actually getting into this the reviewer industry stuff. So thank you very much. But yeah, basically that, and then we'll leave it like that about the idea of make sure you take all these review sites with a grain of salt. Make sure. I think it's really odd that these people that get these real access to real early stuff like movies, they've been having such a weird span of opinions on these certain gaming culture or nerd culture stuff, like where Falcon Winter Soldier got mediocre on some spots because they think it's like it didn't give enough like story or some. I don't even know why they said bad. And like Kong and Godzilla, which is a monster movie, which you come there for the real, like the two monsters that cannot talk fight, get mediocre, but then like the Mortal Kombat got a higher score for some reason. It's just very odd. But I don't want to leave you on that bad note. I want to leave you on the good note like we always do. And then this week's hot picks are... For music, I think this kind of also works out for episode 40 is Gas by 40XL and Dave East. Movies, I am also going to say is Demon Slayer, the movie Mugen Train. Hey, I gotta say it because it was awesome. And off review spot, so if you make it down to the show, I teared up. I thought it was great. But yeah. And then for comics, like we usually do, I got a little list. And then it's kind of a shorter week for comics besides, I want to say issue 1 of Robin from DC. I'm also going to say Helm Greycastle. You can take that with a grain of salt, but of course that's because I got to read it already and I already know it's pretty good. That's pretty much it for, like, there's been, Variant, the company that does, like, Bloodshot and all that stuff. They have issue 1 of Shadow Man coming out this week. And then also, this has been a very big week into some second printings of previous Cousin Cecil Show hot picks, like Shadecraft. So just make sure you look at your local comic book store, and there may be a good chance to get some second printings of things you might have missed out on, like even like issue 1 of Alien for Marvel, and for Marvel for brand new whatever this week's Silk number is, there's a sweet variant of this this one guy who's been running around both sides of the big two. It has a very sweet like Japanese anime style, but her in some like hip hop kicks and stuff. It looked really cool. But yeah, again, you guys can please follow me on Twitter at MikeFowler93. That'd be great. Don't feel shy about maybe, throwing a message out to me saying, hey, what's up? Good job or something, or even ask a question for the show. I'm happy to answer it, whatever. And then maybe, just maybe, I'll just do it like this too. If anybody reads the comic Vault Resonant, I'm interviewing Dave that tonight of the tonight when this comes out. So I'm sorry this is pretty quick and fast to say it because you might have, but you might be able to, if you had a question for him, I can ask him. But sorry if I keep holding back burps and shit. But yeah, like we say every week, please be good to each other. And I'll catch you next week. Peace.